what makes things valuable, and how do you determine value in your life? I think about a lot of relationships in life, and I think about a lot of different games I've played, and I think about a lot of things that have nothing to do with gaming. And what's interesting is some of those things, when you step away from them, they stop feeling valuable and they stop feeling memorable. Like maybe most of the people on your Facebook page. You have 500 friends on Facebook, then you close your Facebook account and you miss almost none of them because all they really were was noise. And when you take them away, you lose nothing. But then there's a few people in your life that matter to you. They're special. And then the years pass. Maybe you stay in touch. Maybe you don't. And the crazy thing is, they remain cherished forever. As a matter of fact, as much as you love them when they're there with you, that fondness only grows when you're apart. And many years down the road, you look back on those experiences that you had, and all you have is positive, loving, happy memories that you wouldn't trade for the world. I also have those experiences in gaming. I think about the first time I loaded up Choplifter or Load Runner on an old Apple II computer. I remember the first time I played King's Quest with 16 colors running in an EGA environment on DOS many years ago. The sense of adventure playing those games was pretty amazing. And I haven't played them for a long time. And I probably never will again. And yet, I will always cherish those early memories of gaming. I'll never forget playing Empire Earth, a real-time strategy game from the early 2000s that I loved very much. Or Star Trek Bridge Commander, which was a fun game I used to play. I don't have to play those games anymore to really, really enjoy them. To celebrate what they gave to me, which was a gift of imagination and joy. And it's so true with relationships, with people that come and go in our lives, with jobs we do, with old careers, with video games. The really good ones may not last forever, but they will always live on and be part of our memory and part of our experience. And that's how you can tell that they were good. They were good because they don't fade away. They become a part of us and they never die. And when I think about MMOs, I also think about how, for example, Albion Online is a game I would tell you is ridiculous in some ways and silly and stupid and also kind of ingenious and cool in its own way and infuriating in a way. And also that one MMO that I've always come back to. Always come back to keep on chopping the stupid trees and grinding and watching the stupid chat of ridiculous people's teenagers or whatever they are saying all sorts of offensive things. But for all of its flaws, I have played almost every MMO on the market over the last 2 years. And I enjoyed all of them to some degree. And then there was a point where I wanted to enjoy them, but I didn't really enjoy them. That point where I was kind of lying to myself, saying, this is a really cool game. I am having fun. While some part of me inside is like, log in again, huh? Right? I think a lot of MMO people have been there. And then there's been that moment when I left that game and tried something else, maybe another MMO, hoping that it would be different. And it is cool for a little bit until you realize it's another grind fest, another story you can pretend is good. But if you're honest, there's a lot of TV shows and movies and single-player RPGs and pretty much every other thing in the world with a better story than that game. You're just pretending that you care about it because you sunk a bunch of hours into it. And so, eventually, then there's that acceptance of, you know what, I think I'm done. Or maybe it's not even a willful determination to quit. It's just you don't log in, and then you don't log in for a week, and then it's a month, and then you realize you didn't play that game for a year. You kind of forgot about it. That game you were trying to convince yourself to log in every day to play it because you were just tricking yourself, trying to pull tricks on your own mind so you didn't have to face the reality that you were playing a boring game. And then there's Albion Online, and it's, you know what it's like? It's like that relationship you have with somebody who's not perfect. They're a mess in their own way, but they're a lovable mess. They're that person that will always respect you to let you be whoever you want to be. The person that isn't perfect but doesn't expect you to be perfect either. The person that always respects your boundaries and never tries to tell you that you can't be what you want to be or do what you want to be or have other friends. That relationship that's really easy to put your time and your effort into because it oddly is always there for you when you want to come back. It never tells you that you can't go. And yet it's always just comfortably there when you decide that you want to come home. And so it's been. I've slowly built up my player island. I've quit. I've come back again and again. I've tried joining guilds. I've done a few different things in the game and ultimately usually just returned to mindless grinding while I do other things. I've said a lot of this before, but I think it's a really interesting allegory of something I was thinking about today, and that is that concept of if you let something go, that's the best way to find it. And for me, Albion Online has managed to be, in all of its simple limitations and peculiarities, it's been an MMO I've returned to again and again. Despite the fact that I've played pretty much every other MMO on the market on the side. I've given every other MMO I know of a chance to prove to me Albion Online is not my favorite. And after all of that, I can't tell you that Albion Online is my favorite, but I can tell you that I keep on coming back. And maybe that is an answer in and of itself. Maybe. If there is any lesson to be learned, it's that sometimes the things that are the most flashy aren't the best. And something doesn't have to be perfect to be good. I am reminded of a quote. I know it's an old quote that's been around, recycled over and over again. That you should not allow the perfect to become the enemy of the good. So, on that thought, in my opinion, Albion Online is not perfect by any measure, but it is good. And I also would end with a reminder that that applies to not just Albion Online. It also applies to all sorts of things in your life. Focus less on trying to find something perfect, and instead, just celebrate the things in your life that are good. Till next time, thank you very much for watching. Goodbye.